But all in all, the big issue that got exposed here is, and to me, and let's think about this from a couple different ways. I can guarantee you that what we're going to hear is that North Carolina just needs to get better players, that they need to continue to recruit to get to the level of Clemson. That's what we're going to hear. That's going to be the offseason. That's going to be the continued mantra around the North Carolina program. What my eyes saw was a North Carolina team that was pretty close to as talented as Clemson. In fact, on the offensive side, North Carolina is more talented than Clemson this year. What we saw was a development and a culture problem emerging yet again against a program that has developed players and has had a strong culture, even though there have been some fractures in that a little bit this year, some culture things that are different. That Clemson team knows how to win because they know how to practice. That's what that program has done. They know how to practice. They practice hard. I've been at their practices. They practice hard. They practice situationally. And they make sure that defense is taken care of on the offensive side and that the offense is served on the defensive side. And they work to establish a physical culture where guys play hard, where the defense tackles to the ground. I mean, this is the thing. Look at not just Clemson's yards after catch, but North Carolina's. North Carolina had 119 yards after catch on how many
27
on 27 catches.
So there's your 4 or less.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, Clemson tackled over and over again, and you could see Carolina's skill guys getting a little frustrated at times. I mean, Josh Downs on multiple opportunities was just in the grass, just about ready to break out, and then goes down. And you could see him slapping the ground a few times, like, dang it, I had it. Just that close. Antoine Green running away from a defensive back and getting ready to make a 3rd and long conversion and gets just tackled from behind 1 yard short. And then there's a false start, and now all of a sudden you have to punt. That's the difference, is when it came time for what's the PG version of this? For crunch time. when it came to crunch time for a guy to have to make a play, to stop a drive, to make sure that a guy got on the ground and didn't make a big play out of something, to get a little bit of extra effort to get to the quarterback, Clemson consistently does those things. And they do those things with good technique. With North Carolina, I see a lot of highly recruited guys that look good in pads, that have been trained well in the weight room. They're strong. They move really well, who do not do those things on a consistent basis, or a consistent enough basis. And this is what I've been saying all year. This is what some of us, I mean, Taylor's been saying this all year too. This is not new. This is not new criticism based on losing. I mean, this is stuff that we were saying when North Carolina was winning early in the year. And you remember some folks who were listening to this were not real happy with some of us for calling some of this stuff out then, saying, look, we're winning. And my mantra was, look, eventually process is going to out. Eventually the way you do things and the way you won, eventually when you step up to play against better teams that have as good of players as you, then that stuff's going to start to matter. And North Carolina has now recruited to the level where they can win on the basis of talent up to a point. But at a certain point, you have to develop that talent so that when you play against teams that have comparable talent, you actually look decent. And that's not where they are right now. They're good enough that they can win, say, 9 out of 10 games against outmatched opponents in terms of talent. But there are always going to be those 2 or 3 games every season where you're going to play against a team that has comparable talent to you, and they're not going to win those games right now. And frankly, without Drake May, they're not competitive in those games. Even in this one with Drake May, the competitiveness only lasted a while.